Hi, a very good morning to all who have taken your time to join this webinar amidst your busy schedule between your telecom meetings. There are some overseas participants in the list, and in Singapore, some of us are still working from home unless you are considered essential to be in the office. So let me start proper. My name is Zen, and I'm the Solution Sales Manager in Host. I take care of several portfolios, and robotics is an essential part of my business. So coronavirus has caused many ups and downs in our lives and the way we work. In Singapore, although community transfer rates are low, many are still weary and when we step out of our homes. Clement from MIR would elaborate more on this later. For this webinar, I will bring you through the host portfolio for those who are new to host. We'll give you an idea who is host and how we can complement you and your company. We are the distributor for MIR, a company that does autonomous mobile robot, which we term it as AMR. We invited Clement, who is the area sales manager, as our guest speaker to take this topic on the new norm. The robot base of the UVC disinfection robot is using MIR, and he will talk to you more on the current COVID situation and how it affects you and elaborate more on the robot base. I will bring you through the UVC disinfection top module, the science behind how UVC light kills pathogens and specifically to coronavirus, how the robot works in your environment, and we are going to have a demo video for the application in the office space and in the places like in retail malls as well. Also, a bit on the commercial package that we can offer. Lastly, we are having a Q&A portion at the end. Just take note, there are 2 poll questions for each portion, which you will need to participate when we prompt you. Okay, so here we go. For those who have not heard about us before or have been wondering why we are called Host, Host was set up by Mr. Ho Soo Tin. That's where he came up with the name Host, H-O-S-T. He brought Alan Bradley from the US to Singapore in the early 1980s and set up the company in 1990 as Host Enterprise. Since then, we have been the distributor for Alan Bradley products, which is now known as Rockwell Automation. We are their exclusive distributor, which all technical and commercial on Rockwell Automation products goes through us locally. Some of the key milestones in 2014, we have joined the Sonapa family and expanded our distribution network as one of their global operational company. In 2018, we realized that the industry is evolving and we are going to evolve together as well, and by offering more products and solutions. We changed our logo and added portfolios like robotics back then in the 2018. An overview of our parent company, Sonapa. Sonapa has been around since more than 50 years ago. In 2019, we achieved 24 billion euros in the group sales with 48,000 associates worldwide, 3,000 branches in 48 countries. We are one of the 145 operational companies globally focusing on distribution of industrial automation and electrical products. Currently, we are still carrying the helm of the world leader in B2B distribution of electrical products and solutions globally. A bit about Host ourselves. We are more than 28 years in the automation business with a sales performance of about 24 million Sing dollars. We hold more than 2 million in terms of inventory to serve the local market. Also, we have more than 30 employees currently. We also provide training and technical support to our customers for continuous improvement programs like workshop to value add to them. The pictures are taken from our training room. You can see control skids and motors to do testing. If you require to do testing on robotics, we have also the equipment and space for it as well. In host, there are 6 different pillars of solution we offer. We will start from the bottom left. For carbon footprint reduction, we work with ABB to deliver high efficiency motors, mainly the IE3 and IE4, to reduce energy consumption. We also provide services like energy audits and consultancy for our customers to let them know how and where they can reduce their energy consumption. Also, we can provide smart lighting solutions to reduce your energy consumption. Regarding energy management solutions, we provide things like wireless sensor through IoT and to track and monitor your energy consumption. Production and operation pillar is our bread and butter. We provide PACs, or you call it PLCs, visualization softwares and hardwares from Rockwell Automation. We also have high availability systems from Rockwell and working together with high availability servers to provide a turnkey solution to our customers. Coming to the top right, on smart manufacturing, we provide robotics and AI solution, predictive maintenance software, and for robotics, we provide AMR and collaborative robot solution. In order to fulfill the needs of our customers for digitalization and data transfer, we provide wireless network solutions, fiber cables, switches, etc. to fill this need. Coming to the last pillar, which is cybersecurity, we are the experts of the OT layer, and now there is a convergence between the OT and IT. So we provide network security hardware and solution to protect your infrastructure. To make all this possible, from what I mentioned from the previous slides, we distribute these brands and form the solution together. For the industrial control and network security, we work with Rockwell Automation for the controls and switches. We work with Clarity, which is a continuous threat detection software, and OWL, which is a data diode. Coming down, we have Stratus, which provide high availability server solutions, and Zebra for barcode, QR code, smart tracking, and trace kind of devices. Penduit provide the hardwire fiber cables, Ethernet cables, and cabling solutions. ProSoft provides wireless communications in the industrial area. For carbon footprint reduction solutions, we work with ABB, Dialight for the smart lighting. We also have Schaffner, which is a power conditioning brand, which is used in reducing of noise in the power systems. Lastly, we have robotics. We work with MIR on AMR solutions and Hanwha for collaborative robots. These are the main brands we work with to support the 6 pillars, as I mentioned on the previous slide. Some of the services that we can provide, I will specify the key few ones. We provide ad hoc on-site support and troubleshooting. We also have contracts with customers to on preventive maintenance plan, 24/7 phone support for certain brands as well. So for asset management, we provide consignment contracts with the customers to put important spares at site. Also, we can do extensive reports on your install base and on your current spares in your warehouse. We can also identify what are the items which are legacy items or items which you do not require in your spare list. We can also repair on your faulty parts. We have more than 300 brands, including Siemens, Schneider, Omron, Mitsubishi, and many more. We can also conduct paid training classes on the products that we offer. So coming to this, this is a short corporate video which well summarizes who we are in the industry.
Three decades of experience in industrial automation has made Host, part of Sonepar Group, the trusted and leading partner of companies looking for holistic solutions to their industrial needs. Businesses like yours no longer need to rely on expensive and cumbersome manual processes. With our cutting-edge solutions on carbon footprint reduction, energy management, production and operation, smart manufacturing, robotics, network, cybersecurity, and we deliver customer-centric value to address evolving business needs. Get work done quickly. Contact us today.
This is the last slide of the introduction. We have currently moved 2 years ago to a bigger place and joining our 3 other Sonepar operational companies in one office. Now I'll hand over to Clement from MIR to talk to you about the new norms. Clement has more than 15 years of experience in the automation industry, and he specializes in robotic applications and safety systems in his previous career. So Clement, please.
Good day, everybody. Many thanks to hosts who organized this webinar, which is pretty much relevant to the situation nowadays that we are facing with regards to the COVID-19 situation. Therefore, very much appreciate that. And I'd like to talk about our mere autonomous mobile robot. So when the COVID-19 hit, the very beginning is in China, but thereafter it spread across globally, and definitely Asia Pacific, we are not being excused as well. So when the COVID hit us, a lot of countries, if not all the countries in Asia Pac, we are actually in lockdown situation. These are the following countries in Asia Pacific that are being locked down. But there are also cases where, the COVID-19 rise again. That's actually happening in Australia. So they extended the lockdown. They reinforced the lockdown as well. So therefore, new norms have been created due to this situation. So what are the new industrial norms due to COVID? If you look at the exhibitions nowadays, these are all being cancelled, especially for the very famous ITAP show, Semicon show. These are all being cancelled. However, digital media marketing has taken place more, which has overtaken such roles for marketing purpose. In terms of meeting, I think most, if not all of us, has already been using Zoom or Team as a platform to do online meeting as well. And the frequency of cleaning in workplace or in public venues has been more and more frequent, and actually it's quite intensive for workers to do it. And in terms of social distancing, this is already a requirement, a measure to prevention of spread of COVID-19. So this is also happening in the workplace as well. And for business-wise, I think a lot of B2B business strategy has been changed to business to consumer, B2C instead. One of the very success case is actually PepsiCo. And of course, if whenever possible, we'll use robot to do front-facing to human rather than human-to-human interaction. But is this new norm really new to the industry? I think this is the biggest question. In my perspective, as we are all industry people, I think Industry 4.0 is no stranger to all of us. And when we talk about Industrial 4.0, we talk about autonomous system. When we use autonomous system, it means that they are less labor intensive production environment. And when we talk about a collaborative system as well, so this is to ensure that less humans are involved, because some of the labor work is inevitable. Human involvement must still be there. However, whenever possible, collaborative system will be implemented to ensure. So this is actually, it can ensure some social distancing. Safety is always the top priority, where actually be it whether COVID or not, is always the top priority, where machines coexist with human beings. In terms of data analytics, when we talk about contact tracing for current, basically we are talking about traceability, track and trace purpose, which is is a requirement for Industrial 4.0 as well. And the system will need to be flexible and scalable as well. So machines should be of an open interface. And with that, let me bring you to a short video to show how 𝐕𝐂 actually address this in the industry.
Imagine a fleet of collaborative mobile robots that could optimize your workflow, increase productivity, and reduce costs. What if it was 100% automated and could collaborate with employees? And what if it was fast and easy to integrate into any type of factory layout? Sounds like something from the future, right? Actually, it isn't. Let me introduce you to Mobile Industrial Robots, 𝐕𝐂, an efficient and flexible mobile industrial robot solution. So how exactly does the 𝐕𝐂 fleet work? Let's have a look. Now the employee here would like to send the item he's just finished working on to the next production line. With the press of a button, a 𝐕𝐂 robot is summoned. Once the button has been pressed, a signal is sent to the 𝐕𝐂 fleet management software. The fleet management software runs behind the scenes and manages all the 𝐕𝐂 robots. The system automatically instructs the appropriate robot to navigate to the source point. The item is placed on the robot and is ready for transit to its destination. The robot drives 100% autonomously and can easily navigate around obstacles on its way. The fleet management software automatically adjusts traffic in real time, ensuring that everything runs smoothly and efficiently. Now the robot has delivered the item to its destination. If there's nothing else in the queue, the robot can be set up to automatically park in a preset parking spot and recharge. The robots can also be summoned via tablet, automatic communication from production lines, or via your ERP system. You even have the possibility to create rush orders that are placed in the front of the order queue. Because the robots drive autonomously, they can perform complex maneuvers, such as navigating across multiple floors. If a robot encounters an obstacle that it can't navigate around, a notification is automatically sent to the user that an action is required. When the item has reached its destination, the robot automatically sends a notification. The top modules are easy to change, so the robot can be redeployed for different tasks. Whether transporting small, medium, or large items, we've got the solution to automate your internal transportation and logistics. Programming the 𝐕𝐂 robots is simple. The user-friendly and intuitive interface allows for fast and hassle-free implementation. And you get customizable dashboards that make it easy for you to tailor the interface to your individual needs. At 𝐕𝐂, we know that factory layouts change rapidly. That's why we made it easy to reprogram routes. A few clicks and you're ready to go. It's that simple. 𝐼𝑢𝑟 is one of the fastest growing companies in collaborative robotics. Our solutions are used all around the world and are helping companies to increase productivity, profitability, and to streamline workflows. Contact us today to learn more about how we can help automate your factory layout. 𝐼𝑢𝑟 Robots.
So therefore, I bring you to an introduction of 𝐼𝑢𝑟. We actually have 5 models: 𝐼𝑢𝑟 100, 𝐼𝑢𝑟 200, 𝐼𝑢𝑟 250, 𝐼𝑢𝑟 500, and 𝐼𝑢𝑟 1000 for payloads of 100 kilogram all the way until 1000 kilogram. For 𝐼𝑢𝑟, we are actually the world's most safe and reliable autonomous mobile robot maker. And everything we do is actually very much based on collaboration, adaptability, and performance. So what's the difference between AMR and AGV, which is a term which is normally used in the industry? Well, for AMR, we are basically trackless. We use autonomous navigation, where AGV, they actually requires tracks, such as magnetic strips on the floor or wires. For AMR, we can safely travel around people and obstacles. But for AGV, the problem will be whenever there's obstacles, it will stop there. Unless the obstacles are being removed, it will still continue to stop there. And that actually brings down the productivity and efficiency. For AMR, it's very easy to expand and very easy to change your work area because it's all about mapping. Whereas for AGV, it's more expensive because you need to relay all the magnetic strips or wires around the floor area, which can be quite tedious as well. And for AMR, we actually navigate dynamically while planning its own path and sequence, whereas the AGV actually restrict to fixed routes and control sequence. As mentioned, we class ourselves the best in safety. Why? Because we are, as far as I know, the only AMR maker which have 2 safety rated scanners, which is able to detect 360 degrees for AMR. We also have 2 3D cameras that detect objects like overhanging obstacles. We also have proximity sensors at each corner of our AMR. In terms of analytics data, we will know the identity of the robot, such as the model and serial number. That give you some traceability as well. In terms of the productivity, we will have the battery percentage, remaining battery time, the out time, and of course the distance traveled as well. In terms of flexibility and scalability, we are actually an open platform, as mentioned. That gives you a flexibility of different types of possibility for application, such as for integration using a collaborative robotic arm for pick and place application, or pallets, conveyors, and assembly such as for your carts and trolleys as well. So again, I'd like to stress on it's very easy, it's very adaptable, and it's very scalable.
The use of mobile robots enables us to implement these optimizations in order to improve our efficiency, productivity, and safety. Our 𝐼𝑢𝑟 robot automates the transport of raw materials to one of our latest assembly lines.
So we came across the mobile robots from Mobile Industrial Robots. They immediately convinced us with their great flexibility. Since then, NIDA GPM has deployed 3 𝐼𝑢𝑟 100 robots. They autonomously transport material and empty containers between warehouse and assembly.
We use 𝐼𝑢𝑟 as a conveyor belt. We use it to transport our semi-finished products and our finished goods, but from production cell to production cell and from line to line. There are no people involved in producing the high-volume products. This means we are very dependent on the 𝐼𝑢𝑟 being able to deliver items to a robot, which in its turn can deliver items to the mirror.
We chose the solution from Mir as we saw three significant benefits. First of all, because of its high flexibility, that means that the robots can be used in various production processes. Another benefit is the programming, which is easy and intuitive. This means that we don't need a specially trained expert to use it. It can be managed by a regular employee. The third benefit is that it is very user-friendly and easy to use for our employees in the production, where Mir is summoned by a simple click and it performs the programmed tasks.
So it's really important for us to be able to have the robots automatically open the doors, which was done via Bluetooth interface. We also needed to get the robots to be able to use the lift, so fleet controller and having the robots be able to automatically control the lift was a really big thing for us.
It gives me an easier workday, and when talking safety, it is much more safe having the Mir 500 drive instead of having me drive a pallet truck. This is especially regarding collision and other things that might happen because we drive so far.
Mir 500 takes its surroundings into account. It detects and avoids the humans walking around, and of course the pallet trucks.
And I think without a doubt, the most prominent and important new norms is the very high frequency of disinfecting the workplace and public venues as well. So with that, I would like to, before that, there are actually two poll questions that we posted. Appreciate your time to reply to the two poll questions. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Mr. Zen Tan from Host. He's the Solution Sales Manager. He will be talking about this UVC solution that will be the answer for these new and very important norms. Over to you, Zen.
So after hearing from Clement on the new norms of the way of life we are in now, we need to adapt and make precautions to enable everyone to be safe. Presenting the UVC disinfection robot from Host, which is co-designed by our partner. This can be used in many different environments like office spaces, retail malls, plant floors, hotel rooms, in hospitality industry, you name it. This will be placed in places where we need to keep people safe. I think everyone has the dying question. How do UVC kill and disinfect or inactivate pathogens? So ultraviolet light is in between the spectrum of X-ray and visible light. It cannot be seen by the naked eye. UV rays are separated into three different bands, so namely UVA, UVB, and UVC. So each of these have different wavelengths. UVA is between 320 to 420 nanometers. UVB is from 290 to 329 nanometers. And for UVC, it is from 180 to 290 nanometers. UVA and UVB are responsible to cause your skin to get darker when you go to the beach to have a suntan. UVC is absorbed by the atmosphere and is not found on the surface of the Earth. About 30 years ago, scientists found that there are properties which can be harnessed from this wavelength, therefore calling it the ultraviolet germicidal radiation. So the specific wavelength that we are going to use in UVC is 254 nanometers. So how does it work? For pathogens, the way to survive and to propagate is to reproduce. It scrambles the DNA and RNA of the pathogens, leaving them unable to reproduce, therefore dead. So this UVC technology, it is not new. it has been around and has been tested in many different applications. The first picture on the top left, it is an operating theatre. It used a stationary UVC lamp to disinfect the room. This is used in Singapore hospitals as well. It is used in kitchen exhaust hoods in big kitchens to kill bacteria and also remove odor from the oil. The bottom picture is a picture inside a cooling tower. It is used to clean the air going into the building. It is used in Singapore for key installations to kill bacteria and also to kill biothreats. Yes, biothreats like anthrax can be killed by UVC light. There are several other ways of disinfection out there. So comparatively, people use hydrogen peroxide vapor machines, or we call it HPV in short, to disinfect areas. So this machine, which you load up with hydrogen peroxide canister, and it will create the vapor to fill up a room or in an area. The process time for using UVC robot is much shorter. It can clear about 1,000 meters square area in an hour. For HPV, it takes about an hour for a meeting room. So for the cost, which is the very big question, the UVC robot costs lesser as HPV machines are long-term investments. You need to continue to buy the solution in order to continue to disinfect different areas. So for biocidal targets, it is slightly better than UVC as it has been around for ages and there are many research studies on the biocidal target it can kill. The UVC robot can reach and expose surfaces or areas which the robot can go, but for the HPV, it can only be in places which is enclosed, like a room. It will not be very useful in a wide open space. Most importantly, about safety. There are some safety concerns for prolonged exposure to UVC light, so the safety distance is about 5 meters away and not more than 8 hours of exposure. For HPV, it is fatal to be exposed as it will burn your lungs. Specifically to coronavirus or COVID-19, many research papers has been done since 1980s on the use of UVC on the many pathogens and specifically to coronavirus. There are many types of strains that they have tested and require exposure to kill at 99% confidence, and the magic number is 67 joules per meter square. We will use this exposure level as a minimum when we do deployment and give you a commissioning report. We use a UVC exposure meter to take the readings and to ensure that it has met this minimum amount of exposure to prove the efficiency of the robot. This is the exposure test that we have done in our lab. So the circle shows the range in mm. So just now I mentioned the magic number is 67 joules per meter square. So the table shows the distance to time exposure of UVC light. At 600 mm at 10 seconds, it will have an exposure of 350 joules per meter square, which is way higher than the exposure level required to kill coronavirus. So for example, at 1.5 meters away, its exposure reading is 70 joules per meter square. This is enough to meet the minimum magic number as well. As the distance increases, the exposure level decreases. You can see that at 15 minutes at 3 meters away, the exposure is 250 joules per meter square. We use this as a guide to do deployment and to calculate how long and the area to cover the place that you want to disinfect. So how we do the deployment and what you need to take note. We will do the mapping of the entire area, which you require to disinfect, and these maps will be saved in the robots. Then we configure the area to disinfect and which areas are forbidden, like places that you do not want the robot to go to. Places like, for example, stairways, escalators, or rooms that you do not want the robot to enter. We can set a scheduled timing for the robot to disinfect, for example, every 2 AM at night. And we are done, good to go. We will give you the report of the exposure data once we do the commissioning and deployment of the robot on site. There are two modes of operation of the 𝐕𝐶 robot. So number one is using the automated mode, which I mentioned just now, on which you can actually set a scheduled time and it will automatically go and disinfect the areas. There is also a manual mode. So say you have an area which you know that there's a potential infected person that have touched or have went to. You can manually drive the robot to the specific area and switch on the 𝐕𝐶 lamps to disinfect. So operational manuals and trainings will be given to your operators as well. The technology that we use are all certified. The 𝐕𝐶 lamps is certified by EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency in the US. And for the robot base, it is ISO 13849-1 certified for machine safety. So a quick recap on what I have went through. The 𝐕𝐶 robot is able to disinfect large areas at a short amount of time, and you do not need to worry about inconsistencies of cleaners wiping down surfaces. It is fully autonomous to do scheduled disinfection. It is easy to deploy, easy and fast to deploy, and it meets safety standards and certifications. Before we go into the demo video, I want to highlight that we have two schemes available. We can do equipment leasing or sales of the robot. Understanding that from some companies you may want to use OPEX budget to deploy, so we catered for such an option. We have 12 months, 18 months or 24 months leasing plan available. There is also an option to buy back after the leasing has ended. So you can contact us for more information about these schemes and options. So now we'll go into the demo video. You will see how to start the disinfection process with a click of a button, and this is for the entire office space. Also, there's a video on disinfection of the retail mall when we are doing the exposure testing. At the end of the video, there are two poll questions followed by a Q&A session. Please stay on the webinar. You may type in your question in the chat and our moderator will read out your questions. Clement and I will answer your questions to our best of our abilities. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good morning once again, and thank you for joining us in this webinar. We now open the floor for your questions. Please feel free to type in the chat box. Okay, we have a question here. I think for you, Zen. Is the UVC solution equipped in the AMV using mercury or LED technology? Zen, over to you. Thank you. Maybe Clement, I think Zen is having some issue on his microphone. I'm not very sure. Clement, are you able to hear us?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you loud and clear. Are you able to hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, probably I will just answer some of the mere related question first. I think there's one question that is asking for mere safety. Just like to reply that I think it's a good question. That's why I'd like to share it across to the audience here as well. Mere actually comply with the relevant standards. All the ISO safety standards required. We do have documents also. In terms of the application viewpoint, when the end user decided to deploy the robots for a certain application, we will always ask either the system integrator or end customer to conduct a risk assessment for safety purpose. So there is the answer. In terms of the what kind of standards are we comply with? Probably for that, because there are a few. So basically, the common one are the 11525, 13849, etc. But there's a longer list than that. So probably you can refer to our homepage and have a look. And also, please feel free to contact us after the webinar. Then we can talk about it more. So I think Zen is back on the line already. Zen.
Yes. So
okay.
Sorry.
So back to you on the question. UVC solution. Sorry, Alice. Probably since I'm on the line, then I can mention that. The UVC solution equipped, is it using mercury or LED technology?
Okay, for this question, it is using LED lamps. Yeah.
Okay, hope. Elise, over back to you. Sorry.
Yep. Next question here is, would the AMV release ozone during operation?
Actually, for this, let me double check on that. But for the ozone, right, since it's EPA approved, I believe that is definitely in the controlled levels.
Okay, thank you, Zen. There's one more here. Have you considered testing the disinfection efficacy against human coronavirus, since that is more relevant at the current period?
Okay, so for just now what I mentioned in the slides, actually tested with many different strains of the coronavirus. Since back in 1980s, they actually have this coronavirus, and there is a lot of different strains involved. So, through many scientific researchers, they actually have the reports, scientific reports on what is the required exposure level in order to kill this this kind of coronaviruses. So we believe we just need to stick with the scientific reports, and what has shown is that the level required is at 67 joules per meter square, or for some of you, if you use microwatts, right, it will be about 670 microwatts per cm square. So that is usually what we will do for our testing. And these are the exposure levels that is certified and at 99% confidence level. Yeah, hope I answer your question.
Yep. Thanks again, Zen. Another one, is there a link where we can look at the AMV specifications?
Okay, so for this, we actually have a data sheet. I think we can send it to you after the webinar.
Okay, right. Another one here, what UV type is deployed?
We are using UVC. So as went through on the first slide, maybe you missed that out. It is using UVC and it's at 243 nanometers wavelength. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Zen. Any more questions from our audience? Please type in the chat box.
I saw a few questions. Probably I can take over here.
Yep.
Zen, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Okay, maybe let me just, is there any safety consideration for users in near proximity during UVC disinfection? I believe there are, but probably Zen has a better idea on that.
Okay, so for this, right, there is going to be sound. So they will, every time when it starts to disinfect, it will have a sound telling people to stay away and it's danger. And in terms of the safety distance, to keep about 5 meters away. And there will be flashing lights as well to ensure that people can see it and can hear it in terms of actually the robot is doing the disinfection. Yeah. So currently, these are the safety measures that we try to put in terms of to ensure that people will stay away from this robot when it is doing its disinfection. Yeah, thanks.
Right. So I think there's a question for Mia as well. How long can the Mia last on power performance? I think this question will be pretty subjective in a way that because ours is a very flexible system, it comes with an open platform, and depending on what kind of top modules you build on it, then of course how much power will be required for the top module to function. All these will have a consideration on that. So probably I think the answer to this question, back to your question, will be it really depends on the application. Then we can assess how long will be the power able to last for this power performance.
Maybe I help to add on some portion for this. If you are using the top module using the UVC, right? We are putting in 2 batteries, so the operating hours will be 8 hours disinfecting. So I mean, to move the robot together with the lights on, it is 8 hours. Yeah, specifically to the UVC top module. But if you are using like maybe a collaborative robot on top, or you have some mechanical motors that require more power for the top module, then maybe that will lessen the time slightly a bit. Yeah.
Okay. Not sure if this was answered already. Is it LED or mercury lamp?
Using LED. Yeah.
Yeah. And then another question here is, can they have the product specification and the pricing?
Sure. I think we can send you a private email on this, on the specification and on the pricing. Depends on what kind of package you want. Just now I mentioned that there is a leasing model and sales model. So maybe we can try to explore what is more suitable for you. Yeah.
Yep. Another one, how long does the disinfection last per charge?
Okay, so just now I mentioned is 8 hours on full running together with the light switch on.
Last one here, would the exposure to UVC by the operator be harmful in the long run?
Okay, to answer this question, there's a safety level on the dosage. So at 5 meters and in intervals of 8 hours, it is still safe for the operator to be there. But if you are going in right beside the disinfection light, the UVC light, it's best to wear PPE with 99% that kind of sunglasses, UV reflective sunglasses, and a face shield to protect yourself, and gloves as well. Yeah.
Okay, I think we will just answer one more here. You mentioned 2 batteries are used. How to charge the batteries and how long to charge to full?
So this robot is fully autonomous. It will dock itself and it will charge both batteries together. So anytime that the battery is low or you instruct the robot to go for a charge, it will charge the 2 batteries automatically together.
Right. Thank you, Zen and Clement. I think we will end the webinar here. Thank you, everyone, for your attendance once again. If you have other or further questions that we are unable to answer here, you may send it to the email that was flashed a while ago. Thank you once again for joining us.
Probably just one word from my side. We apologize for some technical problem faced. Probably you did not see a few slides for the UVC part. My apology for that. Yep. Thank you, everybody, once again. Thank you.
Thank you.